came to us and he talked about a man, one of his men who died at X-ray. And he said to us, a man is dying down there in the valley, and what do? You hold him in your arms and you say to him, it's all you can say to him. You say, you're not alone, son. You're not alone. And then he's gone. My God, he was a man. In 1994, I think it was, I heard Rick had cancer. So I wrote him a note. And he responded in his inimitable way, sending me a book called On the Tiger's Back by a fellow named Bernard Grady, who was with the 5th of the 7th. The title alluded to an old Chinese saying, something that might, something to the effect that it might be dangerous to get on the back of a tiger, because once you were on the back of the tiger, it would be hard to get off. But Rick had a solution for that, and he shared it with me in his letter, and I'd like to share it with you tonight. Slightly edited. December 1994. Dear Larry, thanks for your concern about my plumbing problems. Statistics indicate that the following factors make prostate cancer more likely. Experience in the Central Highlands, over 50. Vasectomy, college graduate, beer consumption between the ages of 20 to 30, being overweight. I will be conducting classes in pain prevention before, during, and after the prostate experience. Classes will be supported with extensive training aids. An outline of task training techniques will be used. You and Joe Galloway will be invited to monitor the class, normally costing $800. Bob Dole will be the keynote speaker. Ran into Bernard Grady, see On the Tiger's Back, a nice guy who was looking for war stories. I like this metaphor. Once on the tiger's back, you cannot be sure of picking a place to dismount, but it does not apply to the 2nd or the 7th. Do you remember our SOP for dealing with tigers? Upon finding himself on the back of a male tiger, the Gary Owen trooper will immediately carry out the following actions. 1. Survey terrain for soft landing area, element grass, deciduous leaves, etc. 2. Upon crossing soft landing area, execute actions in the following sequence. Swivel on tiger's back until you face the tail of the tiger. Grab tail and dig heels into tiger's belly. Roll to the left or right while gripping the tail firmly. Examine the underside of the beast and locate the gonads. These gonads will resemble furry softballs. Begin gnawing on one of the gonads, ignoring the whimpers of the tiger. Within 5 seconds, the beast will come to a halt and you will be able to dismount gracefully. Note, let the tiger move away to its normal habitat. The intent is to dismount and not harm this noble beast. In light of the distaff side, I won't read the part about what you do if you're on the back of a female tiger. That was pure Rescorla. And finally, most of us know how he died. How as head of security at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, he was responsible for getting his people out of the building, all 3,700 of them, all but a dozen or so, Rick included. How he ignored intercom orders to stay put, decisively countermanding them and ordering a complete and immediate evacuation. How he was last seen on the stairwell with his bullhorn in hand, encouraging the people as they walked down the stairwells. How he occasionally broke into song to calm them, as he did in Vietnam. And how he insisted in going back up to make sure all of his people were out of the building when it collapsed. And for those of you who haven't read them, here are the last words Rick was quoted as saying that day. There he was, with his bullhorn in hand, saying, quote, "Today is a day to be proud of being an American. Calm down. Pace yourself. Tomorrow, everybody all over the world will be talking about you. That too is vintage Rescorla. No greater love hath he who laid down his life for his brethren. So he went out as he lived, a man of inimitable calm, poise, and courage. He went out a hero. So I would like to say before I invite Sam Fantino to come up here and do his thing in honor of Rick. A better man I've never known, and I feel grateful, truly grateful to have known him, and how fortunate we are who did. So Rick, for all you've done, for all the pride and joy you've given us, I want to say thanks. Gary Owens, sir. Gary Owens.
Take out the spectacles because I can't see either. This is a poem that Susan has asked me to read. I hope I can do it justice for my friend. I'll give it a try. A little clutch of veterans share a table in a bar. There's a guy off in the corner coaxing tunes from his guitar. They watch the Hudson River as it rolls towards the bend, and they talk of Rick Rescorla as a comrade and a friend. While out across the water, many ocean miles away, within a Cornish tavern by a standy Cornish bay, another group are gathered, reminiscing as a clan, and their thoughts are all of Tammy, from the schoolboy to the man. And every head among them has a picture in its mind which time and place and memory have captured and coincided. Now the pictures well together, only one remains of a sturdy, selfless hero guiding others through the flame. It's a picture which unites them in their glory and their grief, more eloquent than eulogies, confirming their belief that theirs has been a privilege to solder at his side. And in the way he lived his life, Rick Rescorla died. The veterans recall him in the killing fields of war as a man whose potent presence would inspire and reassure. Just one among his brothers when the skies began to fall, yet one whom they regard as a father to them all. And now their eyes will moisten at the mention of his name and the sources of the substance of the legend he became. When mayhem drove the best of men to crave their mother's love, he'd stand and croon an anthem to the glory gods above. And on that evil morning, so deceptively serene, amid another carnage, just as callous and obscene, again he took the mantle of the sainted and the strong to save the life of others with a blessing and a song. Between the Hudson River and the sandy shores of Hale, to rise encompassing differences of latitude and scale, all hands are linked together in the testimony they bear. They are but Rick Rescorla's friends, united in prayer. I wish you would kindly do me a favor. This is Rick. If you would just give me a moment of silence to honor a man who is the epitome of the words that we all try to live by in the service. Duty, honor, country. If you please give me a moment of silence. On behalf of his family, thank you.
There's a film clip that Robin Williams did that I'm sure many of you have seen, which certainly isn't going to say anything that these two guys didn't say, but we'll see if the film projection system works here.
1993, when New York's World Trade Center came under terrorist attack for the first time, Rick Rescorla, a British-born American, was one of the last men out after assisting thousands of survivors to safety. Legend has it that he got the attention of the terrified crowd that day by dropping his trousers. On September 11th, Rick was working as Morgan Stanley security chief at the World Trade Center. He was last seen on the 10th floor, again ushering people to safety, even singing to them to ease the panic. Rick Rescorla's easy heroism was earned the hard way as a soldier in the British Army, as a police officer in Rhodesia, as a platoon leader in the U.S. Army in Vietnam, where he won the Silver Star for bravery. It's been said that courage is not freedom from fear, it's being afraid and still going on. The courage to look fear in the face, to overcome it. And once you've done that, you can do it again and again and again. Rick Rescorla was a living embodiment of that statement. Please help. The line and the numbers are flashing at the bottom of the screen. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Joe Galloway to, we have another film.
I joined the British Army in 1957 at the age of 70 and a half. Within 6 months, I was in Cyprus, which was then in terrorist duty. After 1960, I went to Rhodesia, which is a colonial police force, essentially a paramilitary police force. And I got interested in America because I was a parachutist, and America was the headquarters of the best parachutists in the world. When I took the platoon to Fort Benning, I told them, look, we are going to survive through some rough times here, and you're going to have to train, and you're not going to like me what I'm going to do to you here now. When we came into X-ray, that was the evening of the 14th. My platoon fixed bayonets went forward. In the ditch, we found, bodies of the 1st, 10th, and 7th. That night, about 10:30, as I remember it, the tracers started coming through the trees. They opened up their attack using overhead machine gun fire. And thinking about it later, the weapons of dead men helped us that night. Those individuals who took the first brunt of the attack. We used their weapons and fought through the night. The battle was over at about dawn. The order was given to go out on a final sweep. We all stood up. We were on line, and that is the picture I think you see in front of the book, We Were Soldiers Once and Young, of us doing a final sweep. We went out approximately 30 meters. It was a machine gun team. One of the machine gunner came alive and started lacing down on us. And how he missed us, I don't know. You could just, see the smoke coming out. He was only about 7 yards away from me at the time. I fell away to the right, firing, emptied my magazine. My radio operator, Fantino, I looked back at him and said, grenade. He threw a grenade up to me. I pulled the pin, dropped it over the elephant grass on top of these guys. A matter of a few yards, that's all. It exploded, and nobody could have lived through that one. And in this regard, I think, Fantino definitely saved my life. Retrieval of the bodies was number one, our American bodies first. The smell was horrific, and Colonel Moore came forward, and he called us all around. He said, look, he said, these are boys, these are American boys. I'm going to send them home to their parents. And tears in his eyes. And Sergeant Major Plumley was there. And we promised him that we wouldn't leave one individual on the battlefield. Not one American would be left on the battlefield. So we did the most thorough police, I think, that's ever been done on a battlefield until we got every individual back. And at that time, we thought that, the battle was really over. We weren't going back into action again. We had dreams of going back selling war bonds or something back in the States. And then we were told by Captain Dirk called us over. He said, you are going out now. The 2nd Battalion is in desperate need of us, walking out in front of these men. I was so proud of them at that time. One of the proudest moments of my life. We got on the helicopters. We took off instantly. And then the twilight was all around us. We could still had some sort of visibility when we reached Albany. Looking down as we came in, we were coming in very fast at Albany. I saw on my side of looking at my side of the helicopters, I saw an awful lot of North Vietnamese dead lying out there. Some of them were burned black. And I turned to Fantino, my radio operator, and said, boy, they cleaned them up. I said, there's a lot of North Vietnamese down there. They've done a job on them. And he said, sir, I'm looking on my side.